You're watching NBA Today.
Breaking news, Mavericks are trading Luka Doncic to the Lakers for Anthony Davis.
This deal materialized in the shadows. Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis, LeBron James had no idea this was coming.
This was the biggest trade in NBA history.
LeBron has dreamed about playing with Luka Doncic for years.
If he can get traded, then anybody's up for grabs.
Dallas Mavericks, clearly you lost all faith in Luka Doncic.
Dallas won it for the now, and the Lakers won it for the future.
And that trade is our electric moment, brought to you by Hyundai. It shocked the world this weekend. Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis. The Mavs say goodbye to their five-time first-team All-NBA player who's just 25 years old, and the Lakers move on from half of their championship duo of AD and LeBron. And the ripple effects, they have been sent across the NBA world. And we're not done. It's a good thing Shams Charania is back with us, because Shams, the question that I have been turning over in my head since you first broke this news is why? Why did the Mavericks decide to move on from one of the brightest young stars in the league?
Malika, essentially, the Mavericks believe that Anthony Davis is better for them right now for their goal to winning a championship. They feel like AD will be better fit with Kyrie Irving and this roster to go win a title. And that's the difference between the Lakers and the Mavericks. The Lakers are receiving a decade-long face of the franchise player. They can start looking more for the future, building for the future, going younger, while the Mavericks are in the midst of a championship chase, and they got Anthony Davis in a win-now mode. And there was also an element of the Mavericks betting against Luka Doncic in a lot of ways. His conditioning, his body shape, everything that goes with his fitness. And how will that play out over the coming weeks and years? We'll see. There was also some tension, Malika, between Luka Doncic and that medical performance staff that had developed over the last year or so. So you could manage it, or you could lead to this route. And Nico Harrison found exactly who he wanted, and that was Anthony Davis.
That's stunning reporting, Shams, that Luka Doncic, the Mavericks, were essentially saying we do not want to be in the Luka business anymore. We're going to let you go. We know you're incredibly busy. We're going to send you a coffee because we know you're going to need it for the moves over the next couple of days. We really appreciate you stopping by. Before we dive into all that Shams just said, because there was a lot here, I want to take a listen here. Mavs general manager Nico Harrison, he spoke to reporters before their game against the Cavaliers yesterday, and he was asked if Luka Doncic, quote, is no longer a fit for the team culture.
No, listen, one thing about me, I'm not going to talk bad about any players. Like that's not going to do, us or me any good. I just say there's levels to it. And there's people that fit the culture, and there's people that come in and add to the culture. And those are two distinct things. And I believe the people that were coming in are adding to the culture.
Wow. I mean, I'm a huge fan of AD. Of course, he impacts winning in the culture, but I think Dallas fans are going to need more of an explanation. They're still reeling. This was the front page here of the Dallas Morning News today. And then outside of the Dirk statue at the American Airlines Arena, American Airlines Center, this is the scene right now. Luka Doncic signs, Luka Doncic t-shirts. There are a lot of questions that fans still have about making this trade. And the one aspect that seems, I think, most confusing for fans, for people around the league, is why the Mavericks, Shams has said a couple of times, they operated in the shadows, Brian. It's not like they went out and shopped Luka Doncic. It's not even like they got all of the Lakers' assets for their franchise cornerstone. Should they have gotten more?
So I think what's important to realize here is that they have their other star player, Kyrie Irving, is in his early 30s. They have a timeline that has to match Kyrie. And so going and getting 5 or 6 or 8 first-round picks only helps you so much. They also wanted to get a player who could help them win now. They believe this team is good enough they can compete for this year. So you start to have those parameters, you start to narrow it down. That's how they identified Anthony Davis. The more I've talked to executives and people over the league the last 2 days, I've come to understand why they decided to move off of Luka. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand why they did.
Can you share a little bit more, just what that understanding is?
It's like what Shams said, they didn't believe in giving him the $350 million. That is a controversial and potentially catastrophic decision.
Yeah.
But once you've made that decision, now you can say, okay, what are we going to trade for? Well, they want to trade for somebody who could help them today, not a first-round pick in 2031. Okay, Anthony Davis, that makes sense. Even if you disagree with that, I can follow their thinking. Where I don't follow their thinking, where I stop, is how they didn't get more from the Lakers. That's the uncaused cause that I haven't quite reconciled, and I've yet to talk to somebody in the league that completely understands that.
Well, and it is remarkable that the 5 for $345 that
essentially they weren't willing to offer him as a player coming off 5 years of All-NBA, is 25 years old, is in the prime of his career. I mean, there's so many different layers kind of look at. I've never seen a situation where a team basically has walked away from the Supermax. The Supermax is in play to retain your homegrown players so they do not leave in free agency. And from all accounts, he was willing to commit to that 5-year number this offseason.
How's it going, everybody? Villa Sports Network here. Just want to thank you guys for your support on the channel. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you all enjoyed it. I also want to kind of remind you to don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment on the video if you like as well. But regardless of the fact, thank you again for your support, and hope to see you on the next video.